tau is equal to sigma divided by epsilon rho v is equal to c1 e power minus t by tau minus t by tau. Okay, or otherwise c1 e power minus tau is equal to sigma divided by epsilon t divided by sigma t divided by epsilon. Okay, now what is tau? Tau means relaxation time. Tau means what? Relaxation time. Tau means relaxation time. Epsilon means permittivity, and sigma means conductivity. Okay, now you look for the unit relationship on this. Okay, you know what is the unit of individual parameter. Okay, you just try to find out the whether their unit or matches or not. Okay, okay, wait a minute, I'm getting one call. Relationship. Okay, now generally we'll have confusion here sometime in the exam. Exam tau is equal to we will have this confusion sigma by epsilon or this one. Okay, either permittivity divided by conductivity or conductivity divided by permittivity. Anyway, this is the correct one. Okay, this is the correct one. Now how to remember this one? See, what is the nature of tau? Tau means relaxation time. Anyway, this is wrong, but I will give you idea why, how to remember this one. And before that, we'll see the first regular things. Regular. Okay. See, what is that relaxation time is telling? Suppose if you are having volume charge density, okay, volume charge density rho v, as the time progresses, this is the time axis. As the time progresses, how is your volume charge density is decreasing? How is your volume charge density is decreasing? This is e power minus t by tau. This is e power minus t by tau. As t tends to infinity, definitely that will be 0. What is this idea? Definitely, if you are having many charges, okay, as the charges are going outside, okay, then you measure how much a charge is there at infinite time. Definitely there will not be any charge. Definitely all the charges would have gone out of the surface. That is the idea. At what rate it is decreasing? The charge is gradually, the volume charge is gradually getting decreased because it is going outside. That is the idea. Okay, so here you are having rho v charges. Okay, initially you are having rho v volume charge, but it is gradually decreasing. Okay, but again, see, the nature can be like anything. Say it may decrease like this, or it may decrease like this, or it may decrease like this. Say if this is case 1, this is case 2, and then this is case 3. You see, as compared to case 1, in the case 1 it is slowly decreasing, whereas in case 3 it is decreasing fastly. Okay, it is fastly, at a very fast rate it is decreasing. Are you observing that? Okay, in a case 1 it's slowly decreasing, in case 3 it is fastly decreasing. Then which parameter is deciding how fast it is decreasing? What is the parameter that is deciding this nature? Either it is decreasing slowly or fastly. The only parameter that is deciding this nature is tau. Okay, if you see that tau value, okay, next slide, if I take what is tau, tau is equal to epsilon divided by sigma. Okay, epsilon divided by sigma. If tau value is less, or if tau value is more, time constant is more, so it will take more time. That means it is taking more time, so it is slowly decreasing. It is taking more time, so it is slowly decreasing. If tau value is less, it is taking less time. So less time means fastly decreasing. Fastly decreasing. But if tau value is more, anyway, that epsilon is constant. If the medium is given, epsilon is constant, that your tau is going to depend on conductivity. Tau is going to depend on conductivity. If tau is more, when the tau is more, what will be the epsilon? Epsilon is less. Okay, conductivity is less. If the tau is less, conductivity is more. The conductivity is more. Then what is the final observation? If conductivity is more, at faster rate it is decreasing. Okay, it is decreasing very fastly. Okay, the charges are going outside very fastly. Charges are, if conductivity is high, charges decreases fastly. Charges decreases fastly, because it is true, because once the conductivity is more, it is conducting very fastly. Okay, then velocity will be high. At very high speed it will be going outside. Okay, once the conductivity is more, definitely the charge has to reduce itself very fastly, because charges are going outside the conductor. So definitely it has to decrease very fastly. If the conductivity is less, the charge is not able to go outside. Okay, anyway it will go, but not at faster rate, very slowly it will go. So charges decreases slowly. Charges decreases slowly. Okay, charges decreases slowly. Okay, are you observing all the full screen? This less and more you are getting in your screen. I'm having doubt whether in your screen is
Yes,
it
sir.
visible?
Yes, sir.
Less and more and all. Yes, okay. So so these are all the interrelationship. Okay, so finally the rate at which your charge is getting decreased, it depends on the conductivity of your medium. The rate at which your charges is decreasing, it depends on the conductivity of your medium. So finally uh, tau is equal to what, sir? Tau is equal to epsilon. Epsilon I can take, if it is a free space, I can take epsilon naught, or otherwise if it is a medium is there, epsilon naught into epsilon r. Okay, then divided by conductivity. But if you see here, once if you substitute the realistic values, say anyway, this will be something around 10 power minus 12, 8.854 into 10 power minus 12, okay, farad per meter, and conductivity is in the order of 10 power 20, something like that. So definitely you will be getting very less value, seconds. So that means what? The moment you are, the moment, if it is a conductor, the moment you are introducing some charge here, some charges, it goes outside, quickly tries to goes outside. If it is a perfect conductor, it goes to the surface of the conductor. At what rate it goes? Okay, you are introducing the charges inside the conductor, very quickly it goes the surface of the conductor. At what rate it goes, it is, at what rate it goes, it is decided by the continuity equation. It is decided by the continuity equation. Please remember that the time is very less. Okay, the 10 to the power minus 30, something like that, very less time. So that's why in future you should not have confusion. Okay, you should not have the confusion. The tau means you should not put like this, because this is very much invalid. If you are putting like this, what is the meaning? 10 power 20 divided by 10 power minus 12, it is something around 10 power minus 32, sorry, 10 power plus 32 seconds. 10 power plus 32 seconds will be a lot of years actually. So you are telling that finally once if you introduce the charge inside the conductor, it takes so many years to conduct. But that is not true, because this is very much invalid. Okay, because in the exam you will get this doubt whether tau is equal to sigma divided by epsilon, or epsilon divided by sigma. Okay, this is very much wrong. You should know what is right, what is wrong. So what is the correct relationship? Tau is equal to uh, sigma, uh, sorry, epsilon divided by sigma, that is permittivity divided by conductivity. So tau is equal to what's the permittivity divided by conductivity. You should know this relationship, permittivity divided by conductivity. In the exam, you'll get question based on this permittivity divided by conductivity. how to calculate tau. Okay, sigma divided by epsilon divided by sigma, permittivity divided by conductivity. Okay, now I'll give the conclusion. Okay, so what is the continuity equation? Conclusion is okay, what is the conclusion? Okay, charge density inside the closed surface decays exponentially. Okay, charge density inside the closed surface, decays exponentially. Okay. Next important observation is more the conductivity, faster the decay, lesser the relaxation time, that means what? Very quickly system is getting relaxed in the sense all the charges are gone outside, and that is very quickly system getting relaxed. What is the meaning of relaxed, sir? All the charges are gone outside, very quickly all the charges are going outside. That is the meaning of relaxed. Okay, this is the conclusion of the what continuity equation. Okay, so finally you have to remember only two equations, or whenever it comes to your mind, if the continuity equation comes to the mind, you have to remember two equations. One is del dot j is equal to minus d rho v divided by rho t. Next, relaxation time, tau is equal to permittivity divided by conductivity. Okay, you should remember this formula. This is finally important. Okay, whenever the continuity equation comes to your mind, mostly the questions in ordinary exams question will be based on this one. Okay, next I'll go to the boundary conditions. Okay, next, boundary condition. Okay, boundary condition. Boundary condition means something like whenever you have two different medium. Okay, suppose if this is a medium 1, it is having medium properties epsilon 1, mu 1, epsilon 2, mu 2. Okay, this is the medium number 1, this is my medium number 2. If some electric field is coming in this direction, so this is my electric field, say E1 H1 or D1 B1. Once if I cross that boundary, okay, what happens to my E2 D2? What happens to my H2 B2? This is the idea of the boundary condition. Okay, you are completely going from one medium to another medium. That medium, okay, whenever you are going to the different medium, that medium properties will be really different. Okay, medium properties is characterized by epsilon and mu. Okay, epsilon and mu. Okay, so most of the time mu will be constant. Okay, whenever we are discussing about the electric field, we neglect the effect of the magnetic field. Mu is constant, so only we'll have variation in epsilon. Okay, variation in epsilon. Okay, then what happens when you go from one medium to another medium? Two things will happen. Definitely your angle will change. Okay, angle will change. Angle in the sense, wait. Two things will change. Suppose if I am coming in this direction, if my angle is something like this, I may not go at same angle, my angle may change. Okay, so that is the idea. Definitely angle will change, and then the electric field and magnetic field intensity also will change. Okay, so whenever, please always note down, whenever you go from one medium to another medium, angle of incidence, angle of refraction will change. Okay, angle of incidence, angle of refraction will change in a way that is decided by the Snell's law. Okay, but we'll see here the first case, dielectric to dielectric boundary. In our first case, boundary value problem, boundary condition. First case is dielectric to dielectric. Dielectric to dielectric. Okay, you are going from one dielectric medium to another dielectric medium. And again, the condition is no charge condition, because there are two types of varieties. With the charge we will analyze, without charge also we will analyze. In first case we will analyze without charge. Okay, no charge. You are going from one boundary to another boundary. Okay, so say this is the boundary, this is the boundary, and again, if you are going in this angle, okay, if you are going in this angle, definitely according to the vector relationship, you will have two component, tangential component and normal component. Tangential component and normal component. Say this is your medium 1, this is your medium 2. Okay, medium 2. Okay, say your D, this is your D1 and this is your E1. Okay, definitely once if you know D1, you can calculate E1, because you know the medium properties. Okay, this is epsilon 1 and the medium properties here is epsilon 2. But please note down, once if you have the component that is in a slanting nature, okay, slanted nature, you should resolve into the tangential as well as the normal component. You should resolve into tangential as well as the normal component. Okay, once if you resolve this one, you will have the tangential component like this. Okay, this is the tangential component. Say for example, this is the ET1, and this will be this line will be the normal component. Okay, arrow mark, everything is important. Okay, you cannot put the arrow mark in the downward side, it has to be in the upward side. Okay, so this is say normal component En1. Okay, similarly, and again, this is making the angle of theta 1. Say this is making the angle of theta 1. Okay, and definitely once if it refracts, okay, it refracts there, it will make some other different angle. That angle is theta 2. That angle is theta 2. And again, this is D2 and E2. D2, E2. Again, this also will have the tangential as well as the normal component. So what is the tangential component of this one? So the tangential component of this one will be in this way. This is the tangential component ET2, and this one is the normal component. This one is the normal component En2. Okay, so as the field is going from one medium to another medium with some angle, what happens in the another medium? Again, you will have some other value of D2 and E2, and also it will have its own tangential and normal component. Now we have to make the relationship between the tangential component of first medium and second medium and the normal component of the first medium and second medium for both electric field and electric flux density, for both electric field and electric flux density. Okay, at any point of time, this is evident that E1 is always ET1, En1, E2 is E22, En2, because a vector that we have resolved into tangential and normal component that you can take. Next, I'm going to apply the boundary condition. Okay, so we'll go to the another slide. So once if I am like this is my medium 2. Okay, I take some imaginary surface, some box like this, closed surface, closed box like this. Say this is my integral I am trying to move in this direction. Okay, this is my integral number 1, integral number 2, integral number 3, integral number 4. Okay, already some electric field will be there in medium 1 and medium 2. Now I am moving in the closed box. Now you know that at any point of time, once if you move in the closed box, irrespective of the medium, integral E dot dl is equal to 0. Irrespective of the medium, integral E dot dl is equal to what, sir? 0. Irrespective of the medium, integral E dot dl is equal to 0. Okay, so how you can resolve this one? Integral first path, and integral second path, and integral third path, integral fourth path, If you clearly see, say this is, if you observe the fourth and second integral, if you observe fourth integral and the second integral, okay, definitely if it is giving some value means, if it is giving some a value means, definitely it will give minus a. Why? Because see, only the directions are just opposite. See, first you observe the second integral. From this, in the second integral, you are going from medium 1 to medium 2. In the similar way, in the fourth integral, you are coming from medium to medium 1. But it is in just opposite way. So whatever the value that you are getting in a second integral, the same value, but in a opposite sign, you will get in a fourth integral. So those second and fourth will cancel each other. Okay, second and fourth integral will cancel each other. The addition of second integral and fourth integral will give you 0. So what I am telling, the addition of second integral and fourth integral will give you 0. So you have to concentrate on the remaining integral. First integral and third integral. First and third you cannot, it cannot be 0, because whenever you are in a medium 1, you will experience different electric field E1. Whenever you are in a medium 3, you will experience some other electric field. Okay, because you are completely in case of third integral, you are in the second medium, you are in the medium 2. So definitely you will get some different value. So again, I can make second integral and fourth integral value 0. So again, I have to concentrate on the first and third integral. Okay, first and third integral. So in the next page, or otherwise, now I am having first integral and third integral. First integral and third integral is equal to 0. First integral and third integral is equal to 0. Okay, now I go to the next page. Okay, now I have to concentrate on this one very clearly. So what could be the tangential component here? Definitely ET2. What is the tangential component here? ET1. Okay, ET1. So now I have to compute the first integral. I have to compute the third integral, which is equal to 0. Okay, so again, integral. Now in case of first integral, my tangential component and my direction is same. So I am putting just ET1 dl, because both my direction and electric field direction is same. But in case of third integral, this is like third integral. In our case, this is like first integral. In case of third integral, my direction and electric field direction is just opposite. So I have to put minus integral ET2 dl is equal to 0. So finally what happens? ET1 is equal to ET2. Finally what happens? ET1 is equal to ET2. So in case of dielectric, when you go from one medium to another medium, the tangential component of the electric field remains same. Okay, in case of dielectric to dielectric boundary, when you go from one medium to another medium, the tangential component of the electric field is same. Once if it is same, this can be replaced with help of, suppose if you apply the epsilon, how E can be replaced with help of epsilon? So E is equal to, D is equal to epsilon into E. E is equal to D divided by epsilon. So dt1 divided by epsilon 1, dt2 divided by epsilon 2. Okay, this is the observation. Once first you have to derive this relation. From this relation, you have to derive this relation. Okay, so tangential component of the electric field is continuous. Okay, tangential component of the electric field is continuous, but the tangential component of the electric flux density is not continuous. It depends on epsilon 1 and epsilon 2. Okay, that is the idea. Okay, now what about the normal component? What about we have just discussed about the tangential component of the electric field as well as the electric flux density. Now, what is the relation for normal component? Normal component. Okay, from our observation, if I take surface like this is surface 1, surface 2. Okay, and we have some, this is the surface. So once if I we have seen one thing, generally always electric flux will be perpendicular to the surface generally. Suppose if, say for example, if it is, this is my dn1, again in the medium 2 I am having dn2. But we have seen one thing, the electric field depends on the medium properties, but electric flux is independent of the medium properties. See, note, we have seen already electric flux is independent of medium, independent of medium. Electric flux is independent of the medium, and that too always the electric flux will go perpendicular to the surface, because this is your surface. The electric flux will go perpendicular to the surface. If in that case, whenever the electric field is perpendicular to the surface, the electric flux is independent of the medium. Even if it goes from one medium to another medium, the number of electric flux will remain same. The number of electric flux will remain same. This is your epsilon 1, this is your epsilon 2. So from this observation, I can write dn1 is equal to dn2. So the normal component of the electric flux densities are equal. The normal component of the electric flux densities are equal. From this, you can write epsilon 1 en1 and epsilon 2 en2, epsilon 2 en2. Okay, epsilon 2 en2. Now, what is the final observation? What is the final observation? So in case of dielectric to dielectric boundary, what is the observation? First observation is tangential component of the electric field is continuous. Okay, tangential component of electric field is continuous. Tangential component of electric field is continuous. That is, wait a bit, I am getting call. Electric field, the tangential component of the electric field is continuous. So ET1 is equal to ET2. And again, the second observation is the normal component of electric flux density is continuous. Normal component of electric flux density is continuous. Okay, once if you know these things, you can calculate other things. Okay, what is en1? If you know ET, you can calculate DT. That's okay. Okay, so this is the first observation. So for what? This is dielectric to dielectric with no charge. Okay, dielectric to dielectric with no charge, without any charge. Okay, this is the final observation. Similarly, we will see dielectric to dielectric with charge. Again, we will see conductor to dielectric interface. Okay, two more problems are there. Okay, generally there are three varieties. One variety we have completed. Again, two more varieties are there that we will see in the evening. Okay, with this I will close. Okay, we'll meet in the evening. Yes.
Okay,
Yes, Karthi.
okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.